wanted this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra. Walk with me, you know.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got Andrew, we got John, we got James, we got Prodigy, we got Outlaw, JMR, Martin, Michael. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys for being here. Do me a massive favor, smack the like button here on your way in. Subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. We are on the road to 19K, and we're less than 120 subscribers to hit that mark. So make sure you subscribe it up if this is your first time here. We are also giving away an Arizona Cardinals Nike Rivalry mini helmet once we hit 19K and a jersey once we hit 20K. So make sure you subscribe it up, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in, everybody. We are here to follow along any big, massive moves that happens within the next hour of free agency frenzy, day 2 for the Arizona Cardinals. And of course, we're going to be diving into a little what happened yesterday as well. Man, the emotional roller coaster. Let's just put it that emotional roller coaster all yesterday that we ended up having to endure. Well, I guess just me. I can't really speak for everybody out there, but yeah, emotional roller coaster. But I felt like the second half of free agency was pretty solid. I'm not going to come out here and say that Monti Ossenfort hit the home run ball or anything like that, but there was some pretty good signings, right? Filling up some pretty big needs for the Arizona Cardinals heading into 2026. I'm hoping that it's not done yet. What is the realistic possibility that it might be done? I mean, pretty high. I mean, we know our Arizona Cardinals, and they really don't like to spend money if they don't have to. We're going to be diving into some big needs that we probably still have, what we thought those big needs were prior to free agency and what we did to kind of fill those needs up. But overall, I still think that there's going to be work to be done. But yeah, let's dive into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go ahead and make sure I get my X/Twitter feed all ready to go just in case we do see some breaking news. Now, of course, if you guys see something before I do, make sure you put it here in the comments below. Appreciate you guys for obviously letting me know what's happening, because when I'm speaking live, obviously I can't really focus 2 things at once. It's like squirrel. It's just too many things sometimes. So make sure you let me know. Please, no fake news. We don't do that here in that channel. If you do, you get a 5-second timeout. That's just the way it goes, ladies and gentlemen. But happy Tuesday, March 10th. Let's get started. Let's see who the Arizona Cardinals do decide to bring in day 2. Now, I'm seeing a lot of question marks out there in terms of how many cap space do the Arizona Cardinals have left. I don't think that's absolutely calculated yet. Biggest reason as to why is because although we know what a lot of players got paid, we only know the overall high level what they got paid, right? So for example, 2 years, 12 point something million dollars, right? We only get that. What's more important is what exactly is the guarantee, what's exactly going to be towards the cap space, all those little fine details. A lot of the contracts that we know of, we don't know that quite yet. So I wish I knew what the cap space was as well. Now, Over the Cap is a tool that I use, or Over the Cap is a tool that I like to use, as well as Spot Track. None of those have been updated yet, because let's also not forget that James Conner ended up revising his deal, as well as Sean Murphy-Bunting ended up revising his deal as well, and that was supposed to open up a good amount of space as well. So the third party, cap space, although not 100% accurate, I would say it's definitely probably about 80, maybe 85% on the head, but right now it's not up to date yet. But do the Arizona Cardinals have some money to spend? Well, I mean, looking at the cap space of where the Arizona Cardinals are at and the money that they ended up spending yesterday, the biggest signing we ended up bringing in was Isaac Samualu. Sorry, it's still not there yet, but he's the biggest signing the Arizona Cardinals ended up bringing back. Right now, of course, we also added Roy Lopez, which is a former Arizona Cardinal. We ended up bringing back, not bringing back, but bringing in a wide receiver number 3 in Kendrick Bourne. They're all very high level information that we're given. We don't know the fine details in terms of what exactly the contract is going to look like. So for what it's worth, I don't know the exact number that we have in cap space yet, but once we know, we will be sending that information out. But even, does it matter? Let's be real. Does it matter? Because the Arizona Cardinals had upwards of about $30 million for a lot of last year, and they didn't do anything with it. So it's just going to be a matter of what happens, right? How this Arizona Cardinals organization /Monti /Michael Bidwell is going to have to, address a lot of these needs that we have here. Now, we do got a couple super chats floating in. Of course, can't be a stream without Monarch showing some love. Appreciate appreciate you, Monarch, with a $2 donation. He says this: how many playoff games / Super Bowl wins will Kyler Murray have now? That's a good question. That's a good question. If you guys do not know Kyler Murray, I saw a report out there, I believe it was from John Gambadoro of Arizona Sports, saying that Kyler Murray is waiting till he's officially released on Wednesday to actually sign pen to paper to another team. But the best place for him to go to me, in my opinion, is probably going to be the Atlanta Falcons or the Vikings. It's the best place for him to go, right? In terms of where I feel like he would have the most success. And I know I see some Jets fans out there saying, "Oh, well, he won't pick the Jets. He will not go from a dysfunctional organization to a dysfunctional organization. He just won't. He's probably going to be the best place for him to kind of succeed. And right now the Vikings is. So question from my guy Monarch saying, how many playoff games / Super Bowls will Kyler Murray have now? I don't know. To me, I need to see a lot more from Kyler Murray in order for me to put a number out there. Like, I want to see him bounce back and be consistent. That was the best way to describe his career with the Arizona Cardinals. Inconsistent, right? Like, he played in flashes. Like, I've said that for a very long time. He's played in flashes. That's what Kyler Murray is. Now, that's not sustainable every single game, right? 16, 17 games out of the year. It's not sustainable. That's why you're able to see those flashes about 4 or 5 times, every 5 games. Oh, sorry, one time every like 3 or 4 or 5 games. So I don't know. I can't put a number out there right now, but if he does land with the Vikings or the Falcons, which because they're in the dome and the Falcons have a not great division, he probably can do good. I think that would be the best position for him to succeed. But I'm not going to put out there like he'll win multiple Super Bowls because I need to see a little bit more from Kyler, and he needs to be more consistent in my opinion. Let's go Israel. What's up, Israel? He says, hope we get a right tackle and a linebacker today. Yes. Well, that's a great segue. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so very much, Israel. Let's go ahead and shift our attention now over to free agency, shall we? Because right now the Arizona Cardinals are in a situation where we could say to ourselves, okay, what's new? What's happening around the NFL? The big stuff that I ended up hearing earlier was that the Bills are agreeing to terms with Dawson Knox. So their tight end, they're signing him to a 3-year deal. And then I also ended up seeing, what's his name? It's a cornerback from the Browns. What's his name? Sorry, one second. I had that report here, and for some reason it went away. He just got signed not too long ago. Greg Newsome. My goodness, how did that name kind of slip me? Oh, I'm sorry. He was former Browns. He went to the Jags. That's on me. But former Jaguars cornerback Greg Newsome has reached an agreement today on a 1-year deal worth up to $10 million to the New York Giants. So the Giants are making deals. The Panthers are making deals. We're also going to dive into the NFL transactions and like who had the best so far. I don't think I would put the Arizona Cardinals up there in terms of one of the best. If I'm going to be real, like if I'm going to like be non-biased, I'm not going to put the Arizona Cardinals up there with like the best. I think they did okay. I think they filled up needs, but just like Monti Ossenfort always does, he's very frugal with the players that he's bringing in. And that just might be his mantra. I don't know. That just might be his mantra. So we're going to be diving into that a little later on. So we're going to have a fun-filled show for you guys today from top to bottom. From top to bottom. So let's get started. Appreciate the super chat there, Israel. Let's get started and talking about what we ended up seeing yesterday for the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals started off with a quote-unquote bang, if you want to call it a bang. But the Arizona Cardinals ended up bringing in Tyler Algier, which a lot of question marks were surrounding Tyler Algier in terms of why the Cardinals ended up doing this. Well, remember last year, guys. Last year, the Cardinals were struggling to find any running back to fill in a hole that we didn't have anybody. From top to bottom, the Cardinals were struggling to do anything. You know what I mean? Like they couldn't do anything last year in the run game. The run game was non-existent. When James Conner went down in week 3 and then Trey Benson followed suit right after him, we were left with the running back core of Amari DiMercato, Michael Carter, which I'm a big fan of Michael Carter. Like, I'm a big fan of Michael Carter. I don't think the Cardinals use them as well as they should have, but Michael Carter, Bam Knight, and then Corey Kiner at the end of it all, right? Injuries is probably what the Arizona Cardinals are looking at, saying this is the reason why we were not good last year, right? Now, I'm not saying that's what I'm saying, but I think that's what the Cardinals are saying, like, oh, the injuries were a big factor for us. And it's true. Like, the injuries were a big factor for the Arizona Cardinals last year, but that's not all the reason as to why we were bad. The run game was non-existent. the defense unfortunately could never play consistent. And then the offense, and almost, I'm not going to blame it solely on the defense because I feel like the offense had their woes as well. Like we were just playing non-complimentary football, right? Non-complimentary football. The run game sucked. The O line couldn't protect, anybody. And then the injuries also played a factor as well. And of course, when you change the guard from the quarterbacks, right, from quarterback to other quarterback, there's going to be some sort of adjustments there. So right now, it seems like Jacoby Brissett is going to be the guy, or at least that's the rumors right now here in March the 10th. Now, please keep in mind, a lot of things change from here until the draft. I don't think anybody really knows exactly a gauge of what this Cardinals organization is trying to do. If people are going to try to predict like me, right? I'm going to try to predict what the Cardinals are going to do. I never get it right. I get like one or two right, but then other than that, it's a completely Monti Ossenfort has his own mind. He's going to do what he wants to do. Bidwell's going to do whatever he wants to do, and that's just the way that it is, right? So Tyler Algier, a 2-year deal, about 12 and change. Honestly, I like the signing. I think he has a real high potential to be a running back number 1 for the Arizona Cardinals, as long as we give him the opportunity and a solid O-line. And we are working our way to try to build that O-line. Now, I don't want it solely to be in free agency. I would like to dabble in the draft as well to bring in some young talent. But of course, this is the first step, and we did address a big key factor, bringing in a guy we're going to be talking about a little later on. So that is Tyler Algier. Really excited about the bringing him in. So let's see if he can go ahead and ignite this run game, right? Then the Cardinals end up bringing Kendrick Bourne last year as well. A 2-year deal again, and there was a video floating around with Kendrick Bourne celebrating his contract, and right to his own right. A lot of people are trying to read too much into, why is Kendrick Bourne, so excited? He wants to be a Cardinal. That's so cool. I mean, it probably is a little bit because he's signing with the Cardinals, but I think it's probably a little bit more about the money tag. Like, good for him, right? Like, at the end of the day, he's 30 years old. He's going to cash in another payday 2-year deal. You're blessed. You're blessed to play football. Like, that's what you do for your job and for your family security and your bills to pay. Of course, you're going to celebrate. So overall, what I'm excited about is it's different, right? I'm excited about that. It's different for a new wide receiver number 3 coming in here. And it feels like the Greg Dortch experiment is probably over for the Cardinals. We're bringing in a taller guy. Now, we did this before last year with Zay Jones, right? We ended up bringing in Zay Jones. We brought him back last year. This kind of feels like a Zay Jones signing. Now, I think that Kendrick Bourne is better. I think Kendrick Bourne's a better wide receiver than a Zay Jones is. It's just obviously based off opportunity. Is he going to be able to come into this offense? And what is this offense going to look like for Mike LaFleur, right? Are we going to be able to have 3 wide receivers on the field? Are we going to be doing more of the 12, 13 personnel where we have less wide receivers? Or is he going to actually get an opportunity? Well, we don't know, right? But I do believe that if a wide receiver goes down, the more depth you have is good for the Cardinals. Now, I'm not saying Kendrick Bourne's a wide receiver number 1. No, he's going to be a wide receiver number 3 for the Arizona Cardinals. And that is what I can definitely expect kind of going into the 2025 season. But I like the signing. It's cool. It's not flashy. It's one of those, okay, that's fine. You're a 3. You're a depth piece. You're excited about signing a 2-year. Awesome, right? Then this is the one right here that a lot of people got really upset with, including myself. Now, I want to be very clear because a lot of people got very offended when I had my crash out. And if you guys didn't watch out my crash out, then you didn't miss very much. But this was shortly after the Cardinals signed Tyler Algier, and the next big move the Arizona Cardinals ended up making was the Gardner Minshew pick, right? So they ended up signing him to I believe it was a 1-year deal. And the reason why I was crashing out was it might have been a little bit of a mix between you losing out on Malik Willis to a team that had no salary and just kind of proved to me that if you want to pay for a quarterback or if you want to throw funds around, no matter if you don't have any cap space, you can do that as long as your owner's willing to spend, right? And I think that's what frustrated me more than anything, that the Arizona Cardinals obviously lost out an opportunity to get Malik Willis. And it's not Malik Willis or bust for me, right? I was okay with Jacoby Brissett even before the smoke got the way that it is. I always said it for days and probably weeks that I would prefer Jacoby Brissett to start this year, but I want the Arizona Cardinals to draft the quarterback this year. You give them the opportunity to succeed when the season kind of goes awry, then you can go ahead and maybe look into 2027 if the Cardinals are sitting at the top pick in the draft, and that's fine. What I'm not okay with is trying to lose or being okay with losing. I'm not okay with that. And I'm hearing already the media talk about, well, you got to accept the fate. That's fine. No, you don't. That's loser mentality. That's the reason why the Arizona Cardinals are always here. That's the reason why the Arizona Cardinals are always in the state, because we have people coming out here saying, just accept it. It is what it is. I don't think Trey McBride wants to accept that. I don't think Michael Wilson wants to accept that. Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't want, Buda Baker doesn't want to accept that. No, these guys want to win, right? Stop with this BS wimp mentality, man. This is football. Play the damn game and win. That's what you play these games for. Now, I get it. If the roster's put out and you only win 3 or 4 games, okay, well, that's fine, right? But the mentality of coming in here and trying to lose is absolute wimpish to me, and I hate it. But that's unfortunately the circumstance that we're in, as this part of the organization is where it is, unfortunately. Like, every other year we're trying to tank for somebody, right? Where did that get us with Marvin? It got us nowhere. And I love Marvin Harrison Jr. He's not a 1. I could admit he's not a 1. He's probably a 2, right? But it didn't get us nowhere. It got us nowhere. The Cardinals stood way too long with holding on to Kyler. That's the problem. We went way too long, and they fumbled the Kyler Murray thing. They fumbled it. Monti Ossenfort shouldn't have kept his job. Let's be real here. And now the way that Monti Ossenfort is handling this one, which, like I said, my favorite pickup is probably the Isaac Samualu, right? I don't know if I said his name right, but the guard, former Steeler, former Eagle. That's my favorite pickup so far. And even then, that was like a $10 million per year. Like, he's not doing anything flashy, but he's trying to fill up the holes that we have. And if you're sitting right now in year 4 saying, why do we have so many holes? Well, because Monti Ossenfort put us in this position. But let me make it clear. My crash out was not about Gardner Minshew. Okay, he's a backup quarterback. It is what it is, right? He's a backup quarterback. That's what Gardner Minshew is. He's going to be sitting behind Jacoby Brissett, and even if Jimmy Garoppolo was here, like, it is what it is. He's not going to beat out Jacoby. Jacoby Brissett has a connection with the guys already on the roster, and I think he was always going to be the plan to be QB1. Now, of course, it was a little enticing about Malik Willis. That seemed kind of cool, but I also don't believe that Malik Willis got overpaid. Well, I mean, let me run that back. Some people might think Malik Willis got overpaid because of the amount of games that he had and the unknown that came along with the Malik Willis thing, right? But when the actual contract came out, it seemed like, oh my God, that's so much. He got this much a guarantee. Well, I mean, shout out here to the Miami Dolphins for at least trying to do something, right? Now, yes, will this type of move derail the Arizona Cardinals if you brought in a Malik Willis? Because if you break down the year by year, it actually was not a bad contract, right? At least per the standards of what quarterbacks are getting paid. It's not a bad contract when you're breaking it down year by year. But Cardinals didn't want to do it, right? They decided to roll with 2 backup quarterbacks, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they bring in some sort of quarterback in the draft to give us some sort of different, right? Because although I do believe Jacoby Brissett is the starter, and he was always going to be the starter in 2026, if the season goes awry, which, let's be real, there's a strong possibility with the division we play in and the schedule we're playing, I want to see something different. Show me a different development of somebody else as opposed to Jacoby Brissett all damn year long. So Gardner Minshew signs a deal to be a backup quarterback, and this one right here was my favorite. The Isaac Samualu. Overall, he has a really, really good track record. Doesn't really give up a lot of pressures. So I'm excited to see what he does. I think he's most likely going to be a left guard, but does got the ability to play right guard as well. But if you're going to shore up that Paris Johnson Jr. side, why not have him, right? You have Frohl Holt in the middle. We still need to figure out the right tackle position, and I'm hoping the Arizona Cardinals address it here sometime in the draft, because if they do address that, then a lot of these mock drafts that we're getting Francis Moinoa or Spencer Fano to us can kind of get died down and now start focusing about best player available positional value wise, right? So this was my favorite pickup for the Cardinals. This was the quote unquote big splash play. And even then, it really wasn't that big of a splash play. We're talking about what? APY, about $10 million a year for an Isaac Samualu. But this was a really good pickup to me. Like, you addressed the need, you saw the need, and you went for it, right? Next Gen Stats came out and said that Isaac Samualu allowed a 3.7 pressure rate in 2025, the lowest amongst all guards. Only 3 offensive linemen, all centers, allowed a lower pressure rate than Samualu. So when it comes down to guards, pressure rate is very, very good. He's within the top 5. So it's a really good pickup. But like I said before, it's not something that was, crazy, but he was the biggest one. It's a 3-year, $31.5 million deal for Samuel. And it's because his age, right? He's already in his 30s. So stopgap guy, perfect guy to bring in. And of course, you brought back in Roy Lopez, which I'm excited about because he did really good with the Lions. Hopefully that transitions. And then they brought in um, LJ Collier. LJ Collier, former Arizona Cardinal. Every other year, or no, every year, I feel like he signs a 1 year deal. He's coming back for the Cardinals as well, which, like I said, not a needle mover, but it is what it is. Now, let's talk about this. How did Monty do, right? Let's talk about this. We got a couple super chats that floated through. Let me get to these super chats real quick, and then let's talk about how Monty did. Um, Monarch, again, saying 7 years is not enough. He ain't going to the Falcons with Tua. That's true. Good call. Good call. That's true. That's one thing I completely forgot. So yeah, Vikings, right? Vikings, Steelers are still a little option. You're right. I completely forgot that Tua Tagovailoa ended up going with the Falcons. Good call out there. So 7 years is not enough. He ain't going to the Falcons with Tua. Hopefully they find a way to sign Hendrickson. We got the cap. Hopefully we got the guarantees. Here's the thing, right? One thing that I've noticed doing this as long as I have been doing it, and sometimes it probably is, this is the year that I learned, you don't know until we know, right? Now, nobody knew that the Cardinals were going to sign Jonah Williams. Now, we know now, hindsight, it wasn't a good signing, but everybody was excited about that Jonah Williams signing. Now, Bengals fans came out and said, oh, he's not good. And then we said, oh, yeah, that's okay. We're fine, right? But nobody's going to know until it happens. If the Cardinals are signing up and getting ready for somebody like that, or even if it's a Braden Smith on the right tackle, I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that, right? So you're right. Good call out there, Monarch. Appreciate the 5. We got another super chat floating in. We got James coming in here, and he doesn't say anything. Just a nice super chat there for James. Let me see if he had a comment that wasn't attached to this. I don't see it, James, but I appreciate you for being in the chat. Just with the silent 2. He said, here you go, take my money. Appreciate you. All right. Appreciate it, James. All right, let's keep the conversation going. Let's go with how Monti Ossenfort did. Now, I broke this down to biggest needs for the Arizona Cardinals in this last year. This last year. Wow. This last 2 weeks before free agency, I broke this down to like biggest needs, right? And the biggest needs the Arizona Cardinals had was obviously the offensive line. We can throw trenches. Running back was also a need as well, because I also thought that James Conner was going to get released to open up some cap space. That didn't happen. A revised contract ended up happening. And then a quarterback was also a need as well. So overall, when you're looking at the big splash plays for the Arizona Cardinals, these are the ones that's, I guess, make it on the top free agent pickups, right? Tyler Algier. So you address the running back. Even if James Conner does come back, you have him on a 2-year deal, right? So if Tyler Algier can be that guy for you, which he's shown some flashes that he could potentially be a number 1, right? So you address a big need there. Now you're only paying him $6 million and change APY. It's not a lot of money that you're allocating to a guy that can potentially be a number 1, right? So James Conner, Tyler Algier, probably going to be your 1-2 punch. And then if they do have Trey Benson stay healthy, maybe you can kind of do something. I don't know what Trey Benson's going to accumulate at this point, but I was really happy when we dropped him into the 3rd round. He just can't stay healthy at this point. So excited about Tyler Algier coming in here. Gardner Minshew, backup quarterback. Don't really want to talk about it too much, but they address something there. Isaac Somoalu, which is my favorite one. I have him as a left guard, but does got the ability to play right guard as well. I think he's going to be left, in my personal opinion. But there's that. And then we got Kendrick Bourne, wide receiver number 3, and then Roy Lopez as your defensive lineman. So overall, how did Monti Ossenfort do, right? If you were to give a grade letter on Monti Ossenfort, let me know here in the chat. What would you give Monti Ossenfort for day 1 of free agency? Now, let's break it apart this way. Did he fill up needs? He did, right? He did. He filled up some needs. Did he go big or go home? No, he didn't. But I mean, I don't really expect Monti Ossenfort to do that. Like, I don't think that's his mantra, which sucks to say, but like that's kind of the realism that we're living in right now. That like he doesn't do that. Like that's something he doesn't do. But what I like is that he did fill up needs. If I were to give him a grade, I probably would say C plus. I don't think it was a B. I don't think it was definitely not an A. Absolutely not an A. No, I would not call this an A for Monti Ossenfort. Not at all. I would probably say it's a C plus, maybe borderline B minus. He filled up some needs, right? Even the Isaac Samualu guy, right? Our guard, it's a stopgap guy. We don't have a guy that we can say to ourselves, okay, this is going to be our 3 or 4 year plan guy, right? We don't have that. The Cardinals are being very, very frugal with their money, unless they're trying to save it for a Trey Hendrickson, a Braden Smith, or something like that, right? Because there's still some players that the Cardinals can go after. Now, will they? That's a different story for a different day, right? But like, there's still some big names out there for the Cardinals to potentially go after. But obviously, not just the Cardinals, everybody in the NFL. There's not been a lot of moves happening within this last, I guess, like 5 hours or I guess this morning just in general. But yeah, there's still a lot of good signings or sorry, good look. There's still a lot of good players still available right now. Now, of course, Trey Hendrickson is probably the biggest name out there in terms of one of the best free agents still available. Are the Cardinals in play for him? Well, I mean, I think if that was the case, I think with the C plus would probably definitely go into the A if the Cardinals were going to do something like that. But I don't know. I don't see the Cardinals doing something like that. But you also got, obviously, not talking about Trey Hendrickson, Tariq Woolen, right? Rasheed Walker, which has said that he was going to be making a really, really good payday this year. You also got Romeo Dobbs, a wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. He's still available. Kavion Chason still available as well. Kyler Murray, we know he's available. He's probably top tier guy, but it feels like the Vikings is probably going to be it, right? Taylor Decker is still available. Bradley Chubb is still available. Braden Smith is still available. Deebo Samuel, don't feel the same way about him, but he's still available, right? DJ Reader, a veteran, still available. Leo Chanel, still available, right? Wyatt Taylor is still available. And I don't think did Jedrick Wills get signed? I don't think Jedrick Wills got signed, right? If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I don't think. I mean, he's still available. David Njoku, he's still available. Dallas Goedert, he's still available, right? So you still got some players that are out there. Now the biggest name is Trey Hendrickson. Where is he going to land? I'm seeing a report out there saying that he wants $30 million, and I don't know if a team is willing to give him $31 million or $30 million. I mean, will he covet it? Well, I mean, when you lose a whole year of accrued season with an injury, teams are going to be a little hesitant to sign a Trey Hendrickson. My man, let's be real. The Arizona Cardinals get Trey Hendrickson, and I know it's a pipe dream. I get that. I'm just trying to say this right now, right? If the Cardinals go after Trey Hendrickson, then we're back, baby. We're back, right? But like all the guys so far the Cardinals have brought in, a lot of them were not really 3-4 years type of guys. They're not 3-4-5 year type of guy. They're not. They're guys that are going to be in 2 years, right? 2-year deals. Now, of course, if they do really well, they're going to get extended. But just the way Monti Ossenfort has been doing things, he doesn't really go big in free agency. His biggest probably splash play was probably Josh Sweat. And you would think that, okay, hey, that worked out for you, right? You spent a lot of money on a player that was very productive for you. But for some reason, Monti Ossenfort's mindset is we got all these holes and we need to address it. I want to get 10 years, guys that are like 10 million a year. That's what I want to be in for, right? A guy that can get for 6 million, right? A year. That seems to be in the wheelhouse of Monti Ossenfort. Unless he proves me wrong, I don't see Trey Hendrickson signing with the Arizona Cardinals, right? So Monti Ossenfort, how did he do? I would say C plus. I mean, I think it was okay. I think it was okay. Lorenzo coming up here saying B without Minshew. C minus, D plus with Mania. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. JMR says C at best. Bruce says C at best. Monty continues with his bargain bin shopping. Dan in the chat says C minus to D plus territory. Solid C. Got Martin with the D. Okay. AZ Caveman says solid C. Okay. Yeah, I would definitely say C. I'm giving C plus because I'm giving a little grace that maybe we do something today. That's the only thing about it. Yeah, I would not put this at a B. But like, this is good. And this is the reason why I'm keeping this on the screen, because Lorenzo coming up here and actually breaking it apart with obviously the Minshew and without the Minshew. You got to be very, very. This is interesting, right? Because I know there's a lot of quarterbacks that were linked to the Cardinals. Now, please keep in mind, these were based off of reports of people that maybe were putting their 2 cents in the idea, right? Like something similar to what we do here on this channel as well, right? I've talked about Jimmy Garoppolo and the links with Mike LaFleur, right? I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo truly was realistic. Maybe it was, but Jimmy Garoppolo didn't want to get paid backup money. And that's one thing that was really, really interesting to me, because I remember specifically saying, I doubt we have Jimmy Garoppolo and Jacoby Brissett at the same time. And I know some people were pitching like, oh, you could have really good, potential borderline starters. That's an awesome idea. I never thought it was realistic for the Cardinals to bring in both and have them on the roster going into the 53. The only way Jimmy Garoppolo was going to come here was because he was going to be a starter for the Cardinals. And to me, if Jacoby Brissett wasn't going to get traded, he was going to be the dude. He was going to be the guy, in my opinion, the whole time. Now, if they traded him, of course, we humor the idea that, okay, if you traded away Jacoby, then you want to bring in Jimmy. That makes sense. But I just don't think Jimmy Garoppolo wanted to be a backup quarterback to Jacoby Brissett. Now, even if you came out here and said, okay, let's put our chips on the table, let's have a quarterback competition, right? Let's have a mid-off. Let's have a mid-off, ladies and gentlemen, right? It's just, I don't know. I feel like Jacoby Brissett right now, just with the comfortability, was going to win that, right? With the connection with Trey, connection with Marv, connection with Wilson. It almost kind of felt like that was going to be always in the plan of the books, right? So I respect it. Minshew got paid about what, six something, and then it has the ability to be $8 million. It is crazy to me that the Arizona Cardinals didn't go the direction of bringing in a Tua for a vet minimum. That's pretty wild to me, honestly. That's pretty wild to me that the Arizona Cardinals did not go for Tua with the vet minimum. They overpaid Minshew by three times, paying Minshew what they did when they could have bring in Tua in a vet minimum. But of course, I know if you bring in Tua, then you have a lot more people saying, "Oh, you got to bring him, you got to make him start." And some people didn't want to add Tua, and I get that, right, for its own respected right. I'm not the biggest fan of Tua, but that price tag, I gotta be real, man. Gotta be real. That price tag, I'm not mad at. Um, it seems like we do got some news coming in here. I think the Browns made a move. The Browns signed Quincy Williams to a 2-year deal, $13 million with $9 million guaranteed via Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network. So for what it's worth, that is the latest that I'm seeing right now amongst the NFL. Appreciate you, Lorenzo. Thank you so very much for this comment. Let's keep the chat going here. We got John in the chat says, we can agree that Minshew is an upgrade at backup than Slovis at least. I mean, that's fair. Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. I think we can all agree on that. I think you're right, 100%. And I think that's what it is. He's an upgrade, right? He's an upgrade to what we had, and that was Slovis. Now, what worries me is that the Arizona Cardinals aren't thinking quarterback in this year's draft. Now, whatever side of the coin you are in, right? If you want the Cardinals to draft a quarterback this year, whether it's Ty, which I think at this point you guys know how I feel about Ty Simpson. If it's not him, if the Cardinals go after an Aller, a Nussmeier, with the thoughts that you need to develop him, okay, I'm okay with that. But you're probably going to see this kid kind of get thrown into fire, but that is development. Like, let's be real. Like, that's development. I'm not saying start him in the beginning of the year, but if the season goes awry and the Cardinals try to the whole Jacoby Brissett thing again and he's not able to win, then they're probably going to go the direction of the rookie quarterback if they do decide to bring one. And I'm going to be real with you. I would rather see a rookie quarterback, especially if we're starting off the season like 2-4, 2-5, or like 1-7. Throw a freaking rookie quarterback at that point. Like, let's just, like, if we're gonna lose, let me just see what this development kid can have. Let's see if he had any flashes of anything, right? So I'm still hoping that the Cardinals are gonna bring in a quarterback. Right now, it feels like I guess, the rookie quarterback. There has not really been a lot of chatter about anything. The only thing that I remember is that there was that report came out from Josh Weinfeld saying that the Cardinals took very, very a high liking to Ty Simpson. And right now it feels like Ty Simpson's probably going to be a first round guy. Now, whether that's the Jets going to take a move or a swing on him, which they have a lot of draft capital. So are they going to wait to 2027? We don't know. We don't know, right? So a lot of big question marks out there on where Ty's going to fall. If Ty falls to the second round of the Cardinals, woo, that would be cool to potentially snag him, right? Because he's definitely the second best quarterback. Now I get it. This quarterback draft class isn't very good. So at the end of the day, it's going to depend on how Monti Ossenfort sees fit, right? And how he sees this team in his own vision, because that's what this is. It's going to be this team in his own vision. So we'll see. Let's take a couple more comments here in the chat. We got Russell says, at this point, they need to draft a damn quarterback until we get a bona fide starter. I like this. Yeah, I like this. I mean, that's kind of my mindset as well. Because let's be real here, man. I'm not trying to watch Jacoby Brissett, and I love Jacoby Brissett. I'm not trying to get it twisted here, right? If Jacoby Brissett starts off the season 2-2, then okay, let's go, right? Let's roll. But if this season goes awry and this season goes upside down, if it gets flipped in our ear, right, and we're 1-7 or 2-6, 2-7, 2-8, something like that, right? Like, just throw the rookie quarterback in there. I'm not trying to finish off the season with Jacoby. Like, I love what he's done and cool. I appreciate the numbers and everything looks great, but circumstances are circumstances, right? Like, let's just have you be the backup quarterback to the rookie and see what he could do. At least that's what I'm hoping the Arizona Cardinals are going to do. Another part as to why my crash out happened yesterday during the Minshew stream was just that I just don't feel like this Cardinals organization ever has a plan. Now, I know they're not going to tell us what the plan is, and I get that, right? They're not going to come out here and say, okay, here you go, Mike. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to try to execute that. And I understand that. But in order for me to say, okay, you have a plan, you need to have a plan A, plan B, and plan C. If plan A doesn't work out for you, you need a plan B. If plan B doesn't work out for you, you need a plan C. And I just feel like the whole Minshew falling to us was literally like plan F. Like I feel like you got outbidded by a team that had no cap space with the Miami Dolphins. And again, it proved to me, and it should prove to everybody out there, that it doesn't matter that you are going to take a big dead money hit with Tua. It doesn't matter, because if you have a owner willing to spend, you can go after anybody you want to, as long as you have an owner willing to spend. And unfortunately, we don't. We don't have an owner willing to spend money. Well, unfortunately, if we make a big contract like that and it doesn't work, it puts us back in the hole for years. Where a winning organization has depth from the draft, has depth from bringing in free agency guys that actually work, right? So that was another part of the freak out and the crash out yesterday as well with the Minshew. It's nothing to do with Minshew. He's a backup quarterback. That's what he is. I'm not going to get pissed off for a guy that we signed for a backup quarterback. It's just during that circumstance, we came off of Tyler Algier to the next guy was Minshew. It almost kind of felt like, what the hell was the plan? But the second half, it almost kind of made up for it. Now, I'm still calling it a C plus. I'm not calling it B or A. He did okay. It is what it is. So far, Monti Ossenfort a mid, right? A mid general manager, and that's kind of what he's proved so far. His best free agency signing was Sweat, and I don't think it's any debate there. Fishbowl in the chat says Monty is a general manager to draft third. Oh, freaking A. Oh, well, we're going to have these conversations for sure. We're going to have these conversations for sure. Leave it up to the best general manager in the world to do something like this, right? Obviously, if Ty Simpson finds his way on any draft pick, I don't want that. He's not a third overall pick to me. Neither is Francis Mawinoa. Neither is Spencer Fowler. They're not third overall picks to me, and I've been preaching that for a very, very long time. They're not guys that you should take with the third overall pick. Need is not what you need to do with the draft. Now, edges, those are the next value guys you need to go after, right? Your Arvell Reeses, your Baileys, your Bain Juniors. Those are the guys. So I like Ty Simpson, but I don't like him that much. I don't like Ty Simpson as the third overall pick. No, I'm talking about if you potentially want to trade back up in the 20s. That's probably something you could humor, right? Now, of course, it depends on the draft compensation that you're going to get back, right? If you're going to give up a first round pick next year, then yeah, you're not going to do that, right? You're not going to do that because 2027 does seem like a more realistic option. It's just the circumstances, the details are very important to follow suit. So if he falls to you at 34 and second round, of course, snag him. But if you do see a path to move up 4 or 5 spots back into the first round, and you don't have to give up a first round pick, and you really like him, yeah, I don't see a problem with it. Martin in the chat says, who's the next best player? Well, right now, if you're talking about free agency, after Tyreek, good God. After Trey Hendrickson, I probably would say Rasheed Walker is probably going to get the next big payday. He's a left tackle, former Green Bay Packer. I would say Rasheed Walker is probably up there in terms of the next best player. After him, and I'm talking about for the Cardinals, because obviously I would put Kyler Murray up there for any other team but the Cardinals, right? Because he's a quarterback. Those positions are very, very important. So after Hendrickson, I would probably say Rasheed Walker, but he's a left tackle, and we have Paris Johnson, so I don't know how that's going to work out unless they move Paris Johnson to the right. I don't know, right? You also got Braden Smith, which is a right tackle, more of a stopgap guy, right? Him. And I probably would say Kavion Chason was probably another one. I probably put it up there on the top as well. I'm looking for trenches, man. I'm looking for trenches. I don't think the Cardinals should stop. I don't think the Cardinals should stop at all. They still need to continue to add more pieces to this roster. Like I said, in free agency, what you need to do is you need to fill up your needs. That's what free agency is there for. Now, of course, the numbers got to follow suit, but like that's what you got to do in free agents. You got to fill up the needs. In the draft, you go best player available. That's what you do. Best player available is what you got to do. So, we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. Let's keep it with the chat. You guys are cooking up here, man. Appreciate you guys for being here. And obviously interacting, right? We're during free agency frenzy right now, day 2. Cardinals do still have some cap space, but also please keep in mind the Arizona Cardinals need to save up some money for the draft as well as the draft prospects, as well as any practice squad guys as well. So please keep that in mind as well. So let's read a couple comments here in the chat. We got 5 in the chat. It says, I'm sure we're going to get a rookie quarterback. Jacoby ain't bad at all. The wide receivers are going to be good. Just work around Jacoby. I'm sure we're going to get a rookie quarterback, and Jacoby ain't bad at all. The wide receivers are going to be good. We just got to work around Jacoby. So you're saying we are going to get a rookie quarterback, or we're not going to get a rookie quarterback? Sorry, because the first part seems like you are, but then at the bottom it says it feels like you don't. So I'm confused there. I don't know if the Cardinals are going to get a rookie quarterback. I feel like if I think they should personally, like that's only based off personal preference and opinion, right? But that's my opinion. Carter in the chat says Dre Greenlaw. He did get released, right? Was it a late release? Yeah, Dre Greenlaw was released as well. Yeah, I'd probably put Dre Greenlaw up there as well for sure. Bees in the chat says nobody wants to be a Cardinal. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like we put up the we got this new facility, right? State of the art facility, and it's supposed to attract free agents. Now it's not supposed to be ready to 2028. And with the way we rebuild, we're probably not going to be even ready to 2030 with the way the Arizona Cardinals rebuild. But yeah, I mean, it's supposed to attract a lot of free agents over here. Who knows if that's actually true? What's going to attract more free agents is you winning. Like, let's not act like the 200 and something million dollars or 200 plus million dollars project is going to attract it. No, what attracts free agents is people wanting desire to win and actually think that an organization knows what they're doing. I'm sorry, my Monti Ossenfort, I still don't have full trust that even if he comes back in 2027 to pick the quarterback, if that's the case and the Cardinals just suck again this year, I don't have the trust and faith that he knows what he's doing. I really don't. I don't have the trust and faith that Monti Ossenfort knows how to evaluate anything. Like Monti Ossenfort is not that great. He's not great. He really isn't. He's he's mid. He's mid. And if you want to say Keim over Monti Ossenfort, I'm not going to debate you. If you say that Monti Ossenfort over Keim, I'm not going to debate you. I don't think there's a real bad bad drop off. I really don't. It is what it is. We went from mid to mid, unfortunately. One thing I will say is that Keim had the trades, Keim had the free agency signings, and then on the other side of the coin for Monti, all he really has is draft. But even then, the drafts aren't really kind of shaking out to be that great. So what does he really have? what does he really have, right? So we'll see. We'll see. Also, what I want to do is I want to show you guys the some teams that I feel like actually did pretty solid in this year's free agency class. Of course, we have the Arizona Cardinals starting off here. Now, shout out here to CBS Sports for obviously bringing up the this tracker. And if any super chats come in here, I will read the super chats. I promise you guys. I'm not going to ignore you guys, but I will get to it. Let me just get to this first. I want to show you guys kind of what some teams have done so far. Cardinals have been, quote unquote, I would say fairly busy with trying to fill up the roster. Atlanta brought in some people as well. Tua Tagovailoa on a $1.3 million deal is nuts, but he's getting paid by the Dolphins as Kyler's getting paid by the Arizona Cardinals. Not really any big splash moves by the Falcons, but let's see. The Ravens ended up bringing in Max Crosby, which, let's be real, they're probably not going to do very much because that's a pretty big signing on its own. Buffalo has been very, very quiet as well. They also traded for DJ Moore. So to his own respected right, that's what they did. I think Carolina had a real sneaky free agency class. I think that Carolina did pretty solid. They brought up Jalen Phillips, probably one of the best edge rushers in this year's class, and still young. And then Devin Lloyd. I think Carolina did pretty solid. Now, of course, Kenny Pickett to back up Brees. What the heck? Bryce Young. Why? I completely forgot his name. Bryce Young. Holy crap, I completely forgot his name. Bryce Young. So that's what it is. I was going to Google it real quick, but now I remember Bryce Young. So I thought they did a pretty sneaky, pretty good. Chicago Bears, pretty quiet. Devin Bush, I feel like, is a really good signing. Kobe Bryant is a really good signing as well. So that's what they did there. Cincinnati Bengals brought in some players. They got Boye Mafe, and then Brian Cook, which I don't really know too much. Cleveland, Quincy Williams, I thought was a good pickup. Dallas traded for Rashawn Gary. They took Jalen Thompson. Oh, so sad. But he got $11 million a year, so good for him. Good for Jalen Thompson. Denver didn't really do anything. Detroit made a little bit of moves here and there. Packers didn't really do very much either. They did trade for Zaire Franklin. Houston, I do like Reed Blankenship. See what they do there. Colts didn't really do very much. Jacksonville didn't do very much. Kansas City went in on Kenneth Walker. Pretty good signing. We'll see how that happens. Raiders didn't really do very. No, I'm sorry. They do. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. The Raiders did do a lot. The Raiders did a lot. Tyler Linderbaum, which I really did love. Quay Walker, I really like. N'Kobe Dean. Quiddy Pay. Like, they went crazy, man. The Raiders went crazy. Chargers, Rams, they basically traded and they got Jalen Watson. Miami, they got Malik Willis, and that kind of seemed to be like where they stopped at. I'm expecting the Vikings to go on Kyler. Patriots. The Giants went pretty insane too. The Giants made a lot of moves. The Jets went pretty crazy too. They had a lot of money to spend, and that's exactly what they did. Philly didn't do anything. Steelers, they traded for Michael Pittman, and then they paid him. 49ers, they ended up getting Mike Evans. So Titans went pretty insane as well. They brought in a lot of players. I like this John Franklin Myers signing for them. Wando Robinson's pretty solid as well. Gave me some more weapons to their other quarterback over there. So overall, I mean, Cardinals were at least in play, right? I feel like the Panthers, to me, was pretty sneaky. Like, they only signed 2 people, but it was pretty sneaky. No, 3 people, I'm sorry. But the 2 people that they brought in were pretty sneaky. James, got a super chat coming our way. Appreciate you, James. James says this. It's MLF's, Michael Fleur's first year. Coaching staff is a lot better. Yeah, well, I mean, the saying the coaching staff's a lot better is all it is it's hope, right? It's hope and potential that we finally got the guy that's going to be here for the long term. That's all it is. I mean, let's be real. When we got rid of Gannon, that's what we were all saying as well. We were all saying, "Oh man, we had such an upgrade from Cliff. We are so good. We're so good." And then look what happened, right? I want to wait and see. Now, although I did have Michael Flores, my top, one of my top one of my top head coaches, being hired in this cycle that was realistic for the Cardinals. I would say that Gannon was not nowhere near my top list of guys I wanted to bring in. But hell, neither was Monti Ossenfort. Monti Ossenfort was none of my top guys to be brought in as well. So we'll see. It is Michael Fleur's first year. For the people out there saying they want him to tank, like, also look at it on the other side of the coin as well. Like, you want a first-year head coach to tank, but nobody's really realizing the implications. Like, that goes on their resume. Like, Michael Fleur doesn't want to lose. Michael Fleur wants to win. Like, he wants to win. And if, like, James Conner coming back is pretty sneaky as well. If he can stay healthy and we fix up this O-line, we fix up this run game, I mean, with the weapons we got, I mean, Trey McBride alone is something that most teams in the NFL don't have, right? So we got weapons. Can we keep Jacoby healthy? Can we keep him upright? Can we keep this run game going, right? I'm not trying to sell you guys a bag of goods that we're going to the Super Bowl. We're not. And I'm not trying to sell you a bag of goods that we're going to win the division. We're not. Especially not in this division. But, like, I don't know, man. It's just, I want to see what more happens for the Cardinals before I actually put out some sort of list. And I want to see the free agency, and the draft as well before I start saying some things. But B's in the chat. That's Mr. Ty Simpson to you. Hey, man, bring me Ty Simpson. You know me, man. You know how I feel about Ty Simpson. I can be wrong, and I've been wrong plenty of times, right? I was hyping 2023 with Toontown. He played one game and he was horrendous. It was history in the making how bad Toontown was. Now, I don't fully blame Toon. I don't fully blame Toon at all. But yeah, he hasn't looked really good when his opportunities were called upon him. Let me see if there's any other moves happening right now. But yeah, Tutu is still available. Tutu Atwell is still available. See, if the Cardinals went Tutu over Kendrick Bourne, I would like that better. If the Cardinals went Tutu Atwell over Kendrick Bourne, I would like that so much better as your wide receiver number 3. Now, like I said, I'm not going to say Kendrick Bourne is bad. I think he's better than Zay Jones. I think he's better than Dortch. So for what it's worth, there's that, right? But yeah, I completely forgot about that. Tutu is still available. Let's see if there's any other moves happening right now. Don't see anything else as of this morning has definitely been a lot more quiet compared to yesterday. Yesterday, the moment the 9 o'clock hour hit, man, it were news after news after news after news. We got my guy Martin that says, "Why don't you like Simpson?" I do like Simpson. What? What the heck? I do like Simpson. I do like Simpson. Not with the third overall pick, but I do like Simpson. Um, yeah, guys. Did I didn't? Oh, I'm sorry. If I said I didn't, I misspoke. I apologize. I do like Simpson. Let me say it again. I do like Simpson. Just not with the third overall pick. But to me, what's more important with the third overall pick, you got to go best player available. You got to go after one of these edge rushers, right? Or if you think that Molly Noah is the guy, then I guess you get him. But I don't think that's the right decision myself. But that's more important. Trenches is more important to me than going after a quarterback that you probably can get trading back up. Now, I want to see what the Jets do. If the Jets, quote unquote, get Kyler, which I don't think they're going to, but then that helps me say, okay, we could probably sit in the second round and could probably get him. But right now, I'm looking at some teams that could potentially go after Ty Simpson. Let me see here. Teams, right? I'm not saying in the first round. I'm just saying teams in general, right? So teams that can go after Ty Simpson, Cleveland, they have 2 first-round picks. I don't endorse Cleveland going after another quarterback because they keep just ruining everybody and not giving anybody a fair crack. But Cleveland is an option, right, to potentially go after a quarterback. Who else? Um, right now, Daniel Jones is signed on a was a transition tag, so I think Cleveland is or the Colts are okay. I think the Jets still are in play right now until they prove otherwise. I think they're still in play. Minnesota, I don't see them going after another first-year rookie quarterback, especially with JJ McCarthy on the roster still. I don't know if they could sell that to their fan base. Carolina, no, I don't think they are. Pittsburgh, I would say there. I know they have Will Howard. I just don't know if they truly trust Will Howard because they're flirting around with Aaron Rodgers. Is he coming back? Is he not coming back? Right. So those are the teams that I would say right now that would be quote unquote in danger of sniping a Ty Simpson away from the Cardinals. Unless there's a team that kind of comes out of nowhere, because even Miami just went Malik Willis. They're not going to get a rookie quarterback. Those are the only 3 teams I would say right now that I'm kind of like, they might. They might snipe away. The Jets right now probably because they have the first pick in the second round and they got 2 first rounders, so they got a lot of opportunities there. So I'm just hoping that he falls to the second round. But no, I do like Ty Simpson. Intercepting Fist says, yes, this is another one. Yeah, the Steelers definitely is a possibility as well. I'm hoping they get back Aaron Rodgers. I'm hoping Aaron Rodgers comes back so he gets all pissed off if they or tries to make them not do that. But yeah, the Steelers can definitely be a play as well. Dan in the chat says Bourne could even be better than Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, the disrespect for Marvin Harrison Jr. right now is at an all-time high, and I get it. I'm not going to come out here and say leave Marvin alone, right? Because his rookie year, and unfortunately his second year was riddled with injuries, or injury. So I'm not going to come out here but I don't think that's correct. I don't think it's true, but I'll respect the opinion. I do like Kendrick Bourne. I think Kendrick Bourne is probably a solid number 3. I would prefer Tutu Atwell over Kendrick Bourne, but I get it. You're going for a budget, so it is what it is. But no, I think there's still a lot more upside for Marvin. Let's just see. Hopefully, fingers crossed that it happens. Let's see here. McBride just says, how did you like the free agents we signed so far? We talked about that a little earlier on in the stream. You can either watch it back or I even got a video on it as well on the channel that's live currently as well. So a couple different options you can go in there. It's a smaller option, but I did also talk about it earlier in the stream as well. Somebody in the chat says, Bosa? Are you talking about like Joey Bosa? I mean, last year I would have been okay with a year deal for Joey Bosa. It's just right now I'm not. I don't think the Cardinals should allocate that much money for him, and I'm not sure exactly what the market is for him, but we'll see. We'll see. Now, one thing that's very interesting is that not for the Cardinals, but Alvin Kamara could potentially be on the move because they ended up signing Travis Etienne. So with Travis Etienne going with the Saints, now people are talking about maybe Alvin Kamara potentially can have his way out of the Saints. So we'll see. Still no updates right now. No moves have been made. Like I said, yesterday it was move after move after move after move after move. Now I'm seeing something here from Pro Football Talk. I want to get a gauge on where you guys are at on this. I'm seeing Pro Football Talk, and I'm assuming it's Mike Florio writing this. Pro Football Talk writes, the Cardinals need a starting quarterback. Kirk Cousins makes plenty of sense, especially with the Shanahan/McVay disciple now coaching the team. So now Pro Football Talk is pitching the idea of maybe the Cardinals should be going after a Kirk Cousins. Let me know real quick, what say you in the chat? What would you think if the Arizona Cardinals were to sign a Kirk Cousins? I don't think the Cardinals will do it, personally, but it's intriguing. It's intriguing, right? It's a thought that's intriguing. The Cardinals will be cutting Kyler. Okay, so he just talks about this. Interesting. What say you about Kirk Cousins? Or are you okay with the quarterback state right now? He says, heck no. Okay. Now, even the chat says, do you think Mike LaFleur will succeed with Jacoby Brissett? I mean, we're not going to know until we know, right? We're not going to, I don't know. It's tough to say. It's tough to say. I wish I had a crystal ball and I wish I could tell you. I wish I could. I don't know. I don't know if the Cardinals or Michael Flores is going to be able to succeed with Jacoby. One thing I will say is that Jacoby Brissett he had the connection. I mean, and that was with not really a lot of first team reps in training camp because obviously it was Kyler Murray with the first team reps in training camp. So with how quick he got the connection down and the throws and the comfortability and the ability for him to actually have the chemistry down with these guys, that helps, right? That helps. So yes, is Jacoby Brissett not seen as a starting quarterback in the NFL? Yeah, he's not seen as a starting quarterback. But like I said, that's why I was very, very clear that if what my plan was getting yourself Jacoby Brissett and not going the Malik Willis route, because I was always panicking about Malik Willis's price tag. Now, it was a lot cheaper than what we thought he was going to go for, right? The 22 mil compared to the 30. Some people out there said 35. Like, that's nuts. We're not touching Malik Willis with that much money, right? Now, he went for a lot cheaper than what people expected him to go to. But, yeah, man, what I've always said is you roll with Jacoby, you get yourself a rookie quarterback, whether you're high on Ty Simpson or not. If you don't go that route, then you go after a mid-round quarterback, right? Your Nussmeyers, your Allers, your Becks, right? And see if they have something, right? See if they have a glimmer of flash and hope that they can become that guy, right? Now, if that doesn't work out, then if we're looking to a rookie quarterback at that point, then of course we know where we're going to be picking in the 2027 NFL draft. So that was my plan all along, but we'll see. We'll see. But yes, right now, no moves have been happening so far. Trey Hendrickson still probably the best name out there. And let's be real, Cardinal fans. If the Cardinals get Trey Hendrickson, we're back, baby. We're back. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. Probably not. But I would still like the Cardinals to go after some more players. For sure. For sure. It's not over yet. Seth in the chat says, Minshew really might as well get Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. Don't disrespect Uncle Rico, man. Where's my Gardner Minshew thing here? Hey, don't disrespect Gardner Minshew, man. Don't disrespect Gardner Minshew. Now, obviously, frustration. Yeah, I saw it. The moment I saw this notification of the Cardinals signed Gardner Minshew, of course, my frustration was pretty at all-time high myself. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I wasn't. But the frustration was more about how the Cardinals were attacking free agency at that point, as opposed to Minshew. Minshew was just the cherry on top of the ice cream as to why I was frustrated, right? Like let's be real here. Like Minshew was a backup quarterback. Never did I think that he was going to beat out Jacoby Brissett, especially if the Cardinals were going to roll with Jacoby, right? So here we go. We got another 5 coming our way. Alejandro. What's up, Alejandro? Appreciate the $5 donation. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says this: am I crazy for thinking with a beefed up O-line, Jacoby Brissett can be a Pro Bowler? I, uh, I never want to insult any of my subscribers. I'm not going to call anybody crazy. I'm not going to call anybody crazy, right? But Pro Bowler, no. 6 wins? Yeah. Probably. I don't know what the ceiling is for Jacoby, right? Now, I know if Jacoby wins like 7 games, there's gonna be a lot of people upset because you're not in the prime position to get the next quarterback in 2027, right? But let's also not forget 2026 was supposed to have a lot of good quarterbacks as well. Let's not forget that, right? And what happened? College happened, and all those quarterbacks that were seen to be really, really good quarterbacks, they're not a year later. So like that's one thing that I really don't like about people always wanting to tank is that you never know. Now, of course, Archie Manning right now is the big name that everybody wants to tank for. Tank for Arch, right? Tank for Archie Manning. It is what it is, man. It's always going to be like that, unfortunately, with the card. Until they prove that they're a winning organization, that's exactly what it is. But I don't think he could be Pro Bowler myself, but can he win you 5 games? 6 games? Hell, 7 games? Maybe. But yeah, you got to get the O-line. You got to get the O-line down, man. Once you get the O-line down, we'll be golden. But there's still some players, man. There's still some players out there that I would love the Arizona Cardinals to potentially go after, right? And right now, there still hasn't been nothing. There's still been nothing. No moving parts right now for the Arizona Cardinals. And then nothing for the NFL either. Nothing for the NFL. Let me just do another quick refresh here in the world of X/Twitter. And if nothing happens... Oh! Okay, there was a move made, but nothing crazy, nothing big. Jordan Schultz reports a minute ago. Sources: the Lions are signing Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco is now signing with the Lions. Now, of course, with the Chiefs going after K9, Kenneth Walker, that makes sense. Makes sense. We got Randall in the chat says, what is your favorite Kyler Murray moment? Ooh, good question. I know I saw people say Hail Murray on the chat, so I don't want to say that one. The most recent one I thought was pretty cool when Kyler Murray called his shot. That was cool. When he was taking it to the house in the San Francisco 49er game. That was pretty cool. But the one that always speaks to me is that Raiders game where he needed to get that 2-point conversion. He was running around. That one was pretty cool too. So yeah. Hopefully he does well, man. Hopefully he does well in another organization. Unfortunately, it didn't work out here for the Arizona Cardinals. It's what it is, man. It is what it is, right? Cardinals move on. I'm hoping that there was a plan, but obviously there's no plan. There's never a plan in place for the Arizona Cardinals, unfortunately. But here we go. So let me do one quick refresh. If nothing happens, then we will adjust accordingly. And then we will go after, see maybe there's any other moves the Cardinals make. And of course, if the Cardinals make any other moves, we will be keeping you guys up to date with everything Cardinals news. So if you guys haven't already, smack the like button, subscribe it up, smack the like button. We're on the road to 19K. And once we hit 19K, ladies and gentlemen, we will be giving away an Arizona Cardinals Nike Rivalry mini helmets. And if we hit 20K, we'll be giving away an Arizona Cardinals jersey. So make sure you subscribe it up, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. With that being said, let's close up shop. Let me give another real quick shout out to the people that are in the chat. All the super chatters, Alejandro, James, Monarch, Israel. Thank you. Everybody that's commented in the chat, everybody that smacked the like button, thank you. Thank you guys. Peace out. Later. See you guys later.